Hi, everybody. Mitch Tanenbaum here. Thanks for joining me today. Today, I'm going to talk about something which is going to become and has become a really important topic for those of you who are using cloud services of some sort. And that's called the shared responsibility model. All cloud providers are involved in that, and they all use it, and they all define it a little differently. So let's talk about that. Right now, for those of you who are listening versus watching, I'll try to explain what I'm showing on the screen. So this is a generic shared responsibility model that Microsoft deploys. And that's the same model that everybody uses. So, you've got four columns here. That is, first column is when your servers are on your own premise. The second one is when the vendor's providing infrastructure, meaning the physical server. The next one is when the vendor is providing a platform, like the operating system. And finally, the last column is software as a service. In the on-premise scenario, you're responsible for everything, whether it's the physical room that the computers are in, the operating system, the servers, the network, identity, everything. If you go and rent infrastructure from an infrastructure provider, like a hosting provider, then they're responsible for the physical data center, physical network, the physical hosts. And in that particular case, they're not responsible even for the operating system and the network, the applications. At the next level of platform as a service, then they're responsible all the way up through the operating system level, and they share responsibility with you in things like network and applications and identity. And finally, in software as a service, they're responsible for more things, but still you're responsible for the top three boxes, which includes information and data, devices and accounts, and potentially partial responsibility for identity and directory servers. So let's go look at another slide here. This is Microsoft 365 shared responsibility model. This is from Microsoft. And what it says here is that Microsoft's primary responsibility is for their global infrastructure, the uptime of Microsoft 365 cloud services. Your primary responsibility is access and control of your data residing in the Microsoft 365 environment. So what supports that? Well, Microsoft has 365 data replication. It has a recycle bin, which gives you short-term data replication or data recovery. But you're still responsible for backup and full data, long-term data retention. So typically Microsoft's data retention is limited to 30 days. And if you need more than that, that's your responsibility. Even that is limited. On the security side, Microsoft is responsible for the infrastructure security, physical, logical, app level security, stuff like that. But you're responsible for data level security, they say. And remember, this is coming from Microsoft. So that says, accidental deletion and employee retaliation, tampering, all that stuff. Now they provide tools. Some of this can enhance, but you're responsible for selecting the tools, implementing the tools, paying for the tools. And from a regulatory standpoint, they're called a data processor. They do the processing, but they're not responsible. They're not the data owner, and they're not the compliance responsibility. So it's all up to you. So here's the thing, if you have some data that is sitting somewhere, anywhere from a server in your computer room to a cloud data center, and it doesn't matter whether it's Microsoft or Amazon, pick a vendor, doesn't make any difference, Oracle. um, you're responsible for making sure that data is backed up to the degree that you care about it. So if you're perfectly happy letting Microsoft deal with it and 30 days backup, best efforts recovery is good enough for you, then more power to you. Then you don't have to worry about that. If more than 30 days recovery is required, or something more than best efforts, right? Go look at your license agreement. Microsoft does not agree to be responsible for recovering any data, period, end the conversation. They'll take best efforts, but beyond that, it's up to you. And even if you do, recovery, right? You can go off and back it up into another region, whatever. They're still not responsible for that. Again, best efforts. We saw a fire in a big data center, kind of the European version of Amazon, and then there was like 4 buildings in this data center. One of them burned to the ground. 2 of them were seriously damaged. All of the network infrastructure was toast. And the CEO came out and said, I recommend that you implement your disaster recovery plan. And this is like 2 million virtual websites that were affected by this. And people were like aghast, but the reality is that's the rule. And if that doesn't work for you, then you are responsible for dealing with that. If that scares you, they probably should. And if you need help figuring it out, sorting that out, then please reach out to us. We'll be happy to help you with that. But just don't close your eyes and hope it's going to work. Hope is not a great disaster recovery strategy. Until next time, stay safe, and thanks for listening.
Turnkey Cybersecurity and Privacy Solutions offers the complete cybersecurity program for small to medium-sized